going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort, and China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And we have the Senate Banking Committee tomorrow speaking on stable coins. And then plus we have the Fed on the 13th and 14th. But guys, we know how important the stable coins are. Why? Because they're nothing but digital dollars. We know what they want to do. We know what the central banks want to do. They just want to take the same economy, digitize it, and put it on blockchain. That is correct. So this will give the central banks even more power. They can create money out of thin air right now, but they got to print all this paper, pay all the security. Now blockchain is free security. Now by a push of a button, they create more digital tokens. That's right, guys. And they're going to be able to track everything that you do. Yes, you're going to get that free money, but they're going to tell you what, where, and how to buy it. Remember what David R3 stated, if you want to boost the economy. And we definitely know the American economy is about to tank. It's already taken. It's the Fed is just keeping it up. But you airdrop that free money, they have 3 to 6 months or poof, it's gone. Yes, no more savings. Remember, when you take free money from the New World Order, it's always a price to pay. Plus, we have CZ from Binance speaking, is America behind? Guys, we know America is behind on purpose. We have funded every bit of the technology that we have out there, guys. Please go watch my Society 5.0 videos. They planned the whole fourth industrial revolution in San Francisco. They say it right out their mouth. So the rise of China the Dragon and the fall of America the Babylon is all a part of the scripted movie. Because we know when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. Y'all have a wonderful day.
I guess the main question we heard in the House Financial Services Committee was the threat to the U.S. dollar and what it means for the global reserve currency status that the dollar enjoys. What are you expecting to hear this time around, as maybe it might not be as friendly as that House hearing?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more contentious. I mean, the House hearing, there were a lot of witnesses, there were a lot of members. It went on for 5 hours. Senate banking, going to be much more concise. You have 2 crypto critics who are testifying, and I expect a lot of punches to be thrown.
I mean, you specifically pointed out the banking chair, Senator Sherrod Brown, is sort of a risk, saying it really depends on how aggressively he's going to move on that. Can you lay that out for me? Why do you see that as a risk, and what are they?
Sure. So, I mean, the Senate is really all that matters when it comes to legislating. And I mean that with no offense to my friends in the House. But at the end of the day, the cliche in the House is the Senate is where legislation goes to die. And the House can pass as many crypto-related bills as it wants. But if Sherrod Brown doesn't become a champion of crypto legislation, it's simply not going to become law. And so how engaged he is in the subject, how much he really wants to help financial regulators clarify the law, it's really going to matter. And this is our best indicator that we've had in the last 12 months as to what he's going to do.
And I guess maybe we heard some of that frustration from the executives in the House hearing last week, mainly when you think about Brian Brooks. He got a lot of airtime speaking in front of congressmen and women there, the CEO of mining company Bitfury. But he voiced maybe some of the frustration there in action in Congress. Just want to play what he said. Take a listen.
Is it consistent to take the position that only banks should be allowed to issue stablecoins, but then fail to grant bank charters to the largest issuers of stablecoins? Does it make sense to bring enforcement actions challenging certain crypto assets as unregistered securities, but then fail to allow those assets to be registered and trade on a national securities exchange?
Look like if you're not talking specifically about regulation, but a little more clarity that gives guidance, what should that look like?
Sure. So I think the most important thing in the short term is stable coins. It is we've seen before with money market mutual funds, which I think are the closest analogy, that in times of crisis, you can have real liquidity problems with money market mutual funds. We saw that at the start of COVID-19. We saw that during the great financial crisis. Some of my friends at the banking agencies like to go back to prior to the FDIC, when you had private banks without deposit insurance. And similarly, you had liquidity risk and run risk. And I think that, as stable coins become a part of the broader economy, as they get used for more things, as they become more of a payment mechanism and less of a way to trade Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, you really need that stability. And so I think some clarity as to exactly how those liquidity rules would apply could be really helpful to this sector.
Industry that some say, our own Bloomberg intelligence analysts saying the US is getting left behind here because of the lack of spot ETFs, for example, the fact that regulation perhaps is more tough versus other areas. Do you agree with that? Is the US investor behind the curve related to others because they can't access certain products?
To be very honest, different countries have different ways of regulating. There's not one country more advanced than the other. They're just more advanced in different areas. So I can give you a couple of examples. US is actually very advanced when it comes to banking support for cryptocurrency exchanges. The ACH integration in the US allow cryptocurrency exchanges to deduct money from users' bank accounts automatically every month. In other parts of the world, this is usually not possible. So US is very advanced on that. And US also have the most innovations in DeFi. I believe more than 50% of the DeFi projects are based out of the US. US is more strict on futures, ETFs, and other products, interest-generating products like yields or staking or earning, however you call it. So US is more limited on the product scope that an exchange can offer. But within the pure spot crypto exchange space, the banking integration is very strong. So different jurisdictions are a little bit different. Yeah.
CZ, Elon Musk said the sign-up process for Bitcoin was a little bit too complex for him. He said he had to jump through too many hoops to trade on Binance. How do you respond to that? Do you change your UX?
So I think the part of the US that he's complaining about is actually because we added such strict compliance for KYC, AML, and also he's a US citizen. So number one, I want to thank the fact that he actually tried to register on Binance.com. I think that action or intention itself is very respectable, and I really thank him for that and for him to making that public. We can't onboard, Binance.com cannot onboard US users anyway, so he will fail at some stage. So I apologize for that experience. And I've since did redirect him, suggesting to consider using Binance US. And it's a smaller product set, as I mentioned, because of the regulations there. And hopefully he enjoys that. We'll see what happens.
The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.